The Nolan Wells case is one of the most talked about cases in America. What started out as a local Mississippi investigation has captured national attention, drawing reactions from your everyday citizens to your celebrities, to your politicians, to your civil rights leaders, to your legal analysis, and now even judges. And you ask yourself, why is that? Well, let's talk about it. Nolan Wells' case is alleged to have one big cover up happening right before our eyes, to the point of a retired Mississippi judge, Judge Carlos Moore, had to speak out on the investigation. And one of the latest prominent voices to weigh in on this case is Judge Greg Mathis. Judge Mathis questioned the narrative surrounding the case, saying there are a lot of holes. Take a look at this clip.
I don't believe he drowned. I believe he was killed. But I'm a judge that has to weigh all the evidence. Preliminarily, that's what I see. You don't leave your friend on an island, seeing that he has left his phone, and not at least go back. You came there with him. You left him there, you say, because he wanted to stay. But you notice that he's left his phone. How was he going to get home in the first place? Wouldn't he need his phone in order to call his transportation? Or they should have known some of that. He would have said, I'm going to get home by such and such way. When you, hey man, I'm not coming. Y'all go ahead. I got a young lady. Okay, man. Is she gonna bring you home? How you gonna get home? You don't ask any of those questions. So you must have asked those questions. If you didn't, that's more evidence that I believe contributed to the reasonable suspicion. So I'm with the prosecutor. How about that so far? So you won't have to say that the judge is making conclusions without getting the evidence. The prosecutor has found enough evidence to create a reasonable suspicion that a crime occurred. And now they're going to interview everybody and come up with some answers on whether to indict. So I'm there with the prosecutor so far. Take it to the grand jury. Now I have to wait until what the grand jury comes back with before I support any charge or any lack of charges.
So you feel like it was foul play?
Yes. It doesn't make sense. And it creates a presumption. When you don't have an explanation and someone ends up dead and you hear contradictory or stories that really aren't credible because they make no sense, and you hear the same story from three people, who knows? They may have told 2 or 3 different stories. We don't know. We will know when that grand jury comes back. So that's the case in that scenario.
Do you feel like the person who had Nolan's phone should face charges? It's a lot of people out there that feel that way.
Well, they only know he had it. Well, did he try and keep it? And did the mother just discover? I think that's what we found. The mother discovers it. The question is, how long after did she have to chase down the phone, if you will? Was it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? Perhaps if it happened within hours of them returning, then maybe you do give a little grace there. But if it happened a day or two, suddenly I got to chase down the phone, then yes, that's additional reason to be suspicious. It causes reasonable suspicion. And yeah, so I think those are the factors, and those are all the things that's going to come out in the investigation. How did she find out where his phone was? How long did it take her to find it out? What was the reaction once she went to retrieve the phone, or the police went to retrieve the phone? Those are the answers that have come in this further grand jury investigation.
With all the information you know, right, what do you personally think happened to him?
Well, if they say there was an argument, They, they say they left him there without him telling them how he was getting home. They said it was, I don't know if they said it was an altercation, but others say that it was an altercation. Uh, I guess we'll wait and see if that's the case. But if that was the case, the question becomes who was the altercation with? And it could be that his buddies just punked out and fled. They may have seen a fight and left him. And now they're scared to admit they punks. That's far reaching, but I believe there was foul play. I don't know how it may have occurred, but for his phone to be left in the boat, obviously, or retrieved rather, and taken in the boat, there's something nefarious about that. So I'm not going to guess and say whether I think they've committed a crime. I'm going to say it's reasonable suspicion to believe that they've committed a crime based on the narrative and the evidence that has been presented so far.
Do you believe it was racial bias in the investigation?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Because our life is less valuable to the larger community, to white folks. We devalue black men. They devalue our community in general and neglect to give the type of attention to the victimization, crime victims in our community. And this is no more different. You know, Mississippi really has a bad reputation, and this once again is reinforcing it. And I hope they get to the bottom of there's going to be another black eye. Emmett Till, Medgar Evers. Now this, Nolan Wells. I think it may have been Alabama, but the 3 civil rights college students that were killed, I think it was Mississippi. So in that case, Warner, Goodman, and Cheney, two Jews and a black man. And so I think that might have been in Mississippi. Nonetheless, it's in that same region.
So there you have it, guys. Another judge weighs in on his opinion about the racial biasness in this investigation. Drop down in the comments and let me know how you feel. Do you feel like there was a racial bias in how this case was handled? I do. Don't forget to like, share, and follow me for more controversial topics.